Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know who it is. It is yours truly, the Lord.
Yeah.
Nelson, that is. Yeah. On the CMS Network with the podcast, Live and Loud with the Lord. Yeah, with 5 Royals Entertainment. Yo, sometimes I get it all twisted how I say it, but it's still what it is, man. All I know is that we got a super, super special guest today. And this guy right here, I've written so much. I've definitely got to write this, read this story that I put out about him right here at the beginning because he's such a great individual, man. But we're going to get started, and I'm going to, if you don't mind, bear with me for a moment as I big him up and just give him the utmost respect. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I speak about great human beings, and I get this from him and Hell B, man. Ever since they've told me this, I use it with everything, and it's such a great statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I speak about great human beings, this young man is definitely the epitome of one. He's an amazing son, brother, husband, father, and friend. And from the first day I met him and his band mates, it was like we had known each other since birth. They accepted and embraced me as the new lead singer of Stuck Mojo. And hey, look, I had to reciprocate the love. So that tour bus we shared and the amazing times we had in Europe are branded in my mental and always make me smile when I think of them. And this conversation, I'd like him to know is a special one. And I'd like everybody else to just sit back and enjoy this musical ride and journey with us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Live and Loud with the Lord brings to you the great Double R. And I'm not talking Rolls Royce or Range Rover, not even Rick Rubin. No. I'm talking about the super talented frontman for the incredible bands, VENGINCE and ENDRAH, and CEO of Distilled Entertainment,
That's
Mr. Ryan Ross, affectionately known as Relentless.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lord. I love you, brother. One and only Lord Nelson.
Hey, man, it's all love, man. Thank you.
Really glad we could do this. So thank you so much for your time. And
of course, man.
Just couldn't be more happy to be here, bro. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's all love, definitely. Thank you. So first question, as always, is where are you from, young man?
I am from Roseville, California, United States of America. Roseville. And that is near Sacramento, if anyone knows the California, kind of the Northern California, the capital. Yeah. And I grew up just outside of Oakland, California, and San Francisco when I was a kid, in a little small town called Napa. And we basically were the Bay Area, just outside of in the Bay Area, basically. We call it the North Bay. Yeah. And we're close drive to some big cities: San Jose, Sacramento, Oakland, San Francisco. So, right there, yeah,
right there. So what's the best thing about being from Roseville, Napa, California?
Well, probably during winter, usually say the weather. Would be one of the best things. Yeah. Which is something that we're blessed with real mild winters, though this is a unusual year. We have a lot of rain right now. 4 inches yesterday, which is incredible. For us is incredible amount. So our rivers are about to flood and stuff. So it's been kind of fun. We were driving around looking at seasonal waterfalls today a little bit, just because you can't see them unless it really, really, really comes down. So it's been kind of fun for that. But it's kind of a sleepy town. When I grew up, I was always always trying to find my way into the city, to do bigger things and have more fun and, more excitement, a little crazier stuff. Yeah. And so we started, me and my buddy started going to, I had an older brother. I have an older brother. It's 8 years older than me. So I was able to get rides, out because he was driving at 16 when I was 8. So we could go, see shows and stuff at a pretty young age. So I was exposed to a lot of that kind of stuff, and just loved it, and that's how that started. But yeah, growing up was pretty chill for me. Just kind of a suburban, nothing too crazy,
Right.
overall. But yeah, I just always kind of wanted something a little different and a little bit more exciting, and eventually I got to, do my own thing once I grew up.
Of course, more exciting than wine country, man. Of course,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, Napa wine country.
Right. So definitely famous for fine wine and grape growing and stuff.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's a nice, beautiful place.
Okay, so before we dive into the music, let's talk about your youth, which you kind of have a little bit. What was it like growing up with such amazing parents? Because your mom and dad are truly amazing to me, man.
Yeah, they instill a lot of, I'd like to think, instill good values, and my dad's a hard worker, always out there, making it happen. And they started their own business, kind of from scratch. And when they moved to Napa from Roseville, and I was about 5, and he went out and just made it happen. Like, he just made it happen. And we're kind of out of money, and he just made it happen. I remember him always like taking extra side gigs and like clients and whatever repairs and stuff. He did garage doors and gates and stuff like that.
Right.
And he would just always be paying off his principal on his mortgage. I always watched like those positive things like they were doing, and trying to pay off their house early, and like I was just paying attention to some of their good moves they made, and paying attention to some of the bad moves they made too, to try to learn from them. The key has been to learn from mistakes of people around you, like in yourself. Not that I've definitely made some mistakes twice, but you try to do that. So a lot of learning from that. But I did a lot of sports, and very busy with sports. I'm always super into hiking and like the outdoors, nature, love animals, and we had cats, but like I'd have I have dogs now. My dad never let me have dogs for whatever reason. So like as soon as now I've had dogs and only have dogs, but I had frogs and newts and things like that and stuff I took care of. And I really loved to draw when I was a kid. I did like a lot of like my own little comic books that are really poorly drawn, but like, thought out little storylines and stuff and characters. And I've been creative like in that sense for a long time. I used to dress up, like pretend I was Michael Jackson in Thriller, and I was like 5, like fucking totally doing the dance. And then I'd dress up like Axl Rose, like when they got Guns N' Roses and shit. And I was like maybe 9, 10, they popped, So I was always wanting to like entertain, I guess, people.
Right.
In that sense. And and it's strange because as a kid I was kind of shy in some respects, but like once like the lights come on, like I could just do my thing. Same with sports too. It's like I never would notice there'd be 1,000 people watching and playing football or something, like once you're zeroed in on it.
Right.
So it's one of those kind of, I don't know, I like that challenge of overcoming some of those fears, and stuff, those butterflies, and getting up there and performing, and
no doubt.
I've enjoyed that since I've been a little guy, kind of that mix of nervousness and excitement, so that's always been fun, even since I've been a little dude.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So what's a great moment from your childhood you recall that influenced the man we see today? Yeah, I'm trying to make you think about some things, man.
I'll say something that I don't know if I've ever said, but I'm going to say it. And how old was I? I was little, dude, but maybe like my brother's 8 years older than me, so he was still there. So I was probably like 8 or 7 or 8 or somewhere around there, 7, 8, 9, maybe 6. And I was like pretending to be like handicapped, like walking all weird and stuff, and trying to be funny to my brother. And right behind me, had, unbeknownst to me, was a person with like the same like disabilities I was like making fun of.
Right.
And it was a little kid, right? And this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, look behind you, like I can't believe you, thinking that I was doing that to mock the person behind me.
Right.
And I turned back and my fucking heart sank. And I felt like the biggest sack of shit as a little kid from it. And like, I just remember like telling myself like, dude, I'm never going to fucking do that again, dude. Like, I'm never going to fucking hurt someone like for no fucking reason, dude. Like, and that was a really defining moment in my childhood of like and again, I'm not perfect, I've done a lot of stupid ass shit, but like, that was something that really stopped like a lot of dumb shit that I was like just being stupid as some kid. But like, man, that's like a brick wall in your face, dude. Just bam, like, like that. It was one of those moments where I was like, I'm going to choose to do the right thing here, not the wrong thing, like, right. I know, there's one example for you.
Yeah, early life lessons, man.
We're digging deep.
No. Listen, I appreciate it. Early life lessons, man, and that does mean a lot, man, and it just shows the empathy that you had even back then. Of course, as kids we're still growing and learning and stuff. So, but you learned the lesson right there. So it's
strange, and ever since then, I've kind of felt like overly aggressive to people that are fucking with people like in a wheelchair or something.
Yes.
I almost beat the shit out of this dude once we had this bicycle shop, and this man that ran it was blind. And he could fix a fucking bike with no eyes. He could he could feel and do the things and do the gears, and he with just his hands. Amazing.
Yes.
And I remember being there behind him once, behind a customer that was going to pay for services, and the guy said it was like, the $108 for the bike or whatever, and the dude gave him like $10 and acted like it was 100.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Tried to rob him basically.
Yeah.
And I called him out, and it was like a big kind of scene, and I was like, fuck you, dude. Right. And another time, like, I was an adult, I was probably 21 and I broke my ankle really bad on stage with Vengeance. I jumping off James's drum riser and in Seattle on tour, and my ankle just popped out. And like, so I was in a cast, and laid up kind of like my wife is right now with her broken foot. But I was in college, single and everything, but in college. And then my roommate, Brian, this dude, Brian Cast, my good friend, he's like, bro, like, we got to take advantage of your fucking cast, dude. Like, let's go to Disneyland and Magic Mountain, which is like, Magic Mountain's a big roller coaster park. Right. And so like, cause you get front of the line, cause you get to go in like with the broken leg side, whatever. So we were in line to go on this ride called the Viper. It's like an old famous one. And the kid in front of me, like in that line, like had no legs from his knees down. He had prosthetic, and like kid was probably 12 maybe.
Yeah.
And like, dude was super cool. We were chatting up with him, and like he was walking with these prosthetics, and here comes from behind us this big entourage coming up the exit, essentially, how they do it for like handicap or like injured people. Right. And it's Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. Right. Yeah. So the crowd sees him on the main line. People go, fuck, going crazy. Fred Durst, and he rolls up and he passes me, and he full on shoulder bumps the kid.
Really?
To go to the front of the line with a pat on Fred Durst, fucking the man almost knocks over this little kid with prosthetics.
Yeah.
I'm in a wheelchair with a fucking cast myself. I lost my shit, dude. I get up and I'm hopping at him, trying to fight him, and like security had to come and fucking take me away. And it was pretty bad, but fuck that guy, and fuck you, Fred Durst. You ever see this? I'll fucking whoop your ass. You ever want to fight me, dude? Let's do it. We can do it on Live and Lord. Punk ass bitch.
Hey man, the content is already great. My brother, you a wild dude. I love it.